Cloud. Hey, welcome to your daily dose. My name's Robert. It's my pal Susan. Susan, we've been talking day one PD superheroes, and I love the way this is progressing. I think this is a good way for people to check in and really kind of look from the outside in and go, oh, okay, kind of peer in there through the window and see what's going on. This is the one of two programs offered through Yes and Exercise. You can find out more about it at yesandexercise.com. There are 12 steps on the hero's journey that we use, Joseph Campbell's work. And there is
Just
a
call me
famous,
Vanna.
yeah, with a diagram that Susan/Vanna holds up. And where we're at right now is trending toward the bottom of the circle, which is approach to the Inmost Cave. It's step number 7. And, at this point, the stakes really become high. I think, the adventurer, the hero, as it were, now realizes, what may have been kind of fun and games, or we're just going to go for this thing, is actually going to require maybe some big effort from me. And I think really importantly, one thing that came forward strongly in a second group was I pointedly said, we're looking at this cave ahead. We don't know what's in it. Can we talk about death? And I think that brought some stakes right into it. What was your remembrance or your experience with the approach to the Inmost Cave?
My adventure had changed, shifted strictly from the reality of Parkinson's, which was kind of the call to adventure for all of us. And I was completely immersed in this. It was actually based on a dream that I had had, a very, very realistic dream. And every step of this 12 steps was another piece of that story revealing itself to me through my writing and being very consistent with it. And so, we had seen this. We were only here. We were going here.
Yeah.
But this is like kind of scary, like foreshadowing of danger. And then
We'll
this
talk
is
about that for a minute, because when we talk about danger, we talk about this. I mean, there's that word cave, right? And what does that mean? Inherently, when someone says there's a cave ahead, it's open ended. I didn't label it, but I just said
good
what does a
point,
cave mean?
Robert. That's a really good point. It's a really good point. I guess I assumed everybody felt apprehensive. Even the word approach is
Right.
it could be tinged that way, and we were building toward a concept of heroism, and that sort of implies having conquered something. So it all kind of fit together, leading toward. Mm, but I didn't know in my own story in
Yeah,
my words.
that's what I wanted to hit on right there. Is the whole idea that something is coming. That is the approach. Literally, we don't know what it is, and I think that word approach does fit. There is the foreboding feeling of, oh my gosh, not trusting the unknown, perhaps, right? Fear of going there, as it were. I have found over a couple courses of doing this that a lot of people would rather kind of stay in those first couple stages where, okay, I can kind of see what's going on, and I can tick off some boxes. It's all good. This step, I think, forces you to go there, and that is a struggle for some people who maybe maybe in the Parkinson's journey, if they're in the honeymoon phase, really want to stay there, or act like I don't want to deal with what may be coming, or act like maybe I don't have it as bad as some other people.
Or
Is
people
that
tell you that,
right?
right? You get reading, we hear that.
Do you
You
even
have
have
Parkinson's?
Parkinson's, right?
And in going back to the dream and how mine worked itself out, it's really interesting because my ordeal was after I was already trapped and stuck. And so the approach was um, uh, the, the hard work, sorry, the real battle wasn't the devastating, threatening physical disaster that I found myself in,
Yeah.
which really it was kind of the approach, because as I sank into that black sticky mud, that was the approach as I was going down. I didn't
Yeah.
understand that at the time, but once I got down, you know, buried under the sticky mud, then I was kind of in the cave. But the ordeal was not that I couldn't breathe because I was in mud. The ordeal was, oddly, that I actually had to to learn to speak in gibberish in
That's
order.
so good. And I'm going to reference people to the video. I'm putting this in the description below so they can see your magic
Okay.
words video, because it tells that, which is so good. Because you're right. So underneath all the fear and the literal manifestation of the mud and the sinking, the veritable cave, was actually this learning to speak in gibberish, which has its own thing, and they can see that in the video, which you do such a great job with.
Well, that's where the bravery was required.
Yes.
It was so terrifying to me, as strange as that sounds. And what was so brilliant was the teamwork, the fact that this ensemble that we had created was what they all became my teachers. They all helped encourage me and help me get up out of that dangerous place.
I heard safe, I heard brave, and also I think really important, identification. You needed to identify. So all of those things needed the safety and bravery in order to get to the place where you could identify this thing
Trust.
that, like you said, you had no idea.
Trust. Trust was so huge. I had to believe that what these people were going to do for me would actually get me up out of the mud.
Let's take a look at that ordeal and where you went in the next Daily Dose.